My name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. That's 11 a.m. if you're in Australia, or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. if you're in the UK and Europe. I hope you guys are going well. Snowberry, you are the first. How's it going? Remember guys, if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch channel. I upload all of my previous streams up to Twitch. You can also catch them on my YouTube channel, which is /PhilDoes3D. Remember, if you want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server, go to the About Me section of my Twitch channel and you'll find a blue graphic in my panels. Click that. That'll give you an invite link to join the Discord. We're going to continue working on an asset for the game called The House on the Hollow. You can wishlist that on Steam. Again, go to the About Me section of my Twitch channel and look for the graphic in my panels. So we're working on the main gate for that game, and that's what we're going to continue with today. Yesterday we were playing Cyberpunk because one of the viewers wanted me to play Cyberpunk. So we were working on this last week and we're having a bit of an issue with pardon me, with doing a bake down from the high to the low res on the post. So we're going to look at that today. So let's jump straight into Painter and check it out. So we'll create a new project. We're going to select the gate post low res. That should all be good. And we'll try this again. Now I did make a change and I don't know whether it's going to work, so we'll try it and see, and if it does work then I'll tell you what the issue was. So we're going to bake out from the high res version of the mesh. Gate post high res. So this will be a test for both of us. I'm not sure whether it's going to work or not. Okay. We'll do the ID map bar separately. I think all of that's good. So yeah, last week when we were doing this, the top of the post up here, we were having an issue with the bake out, and we're still having an issue with the bake out. That's very annoying. I thought I may have fixed it, but obviously not. Let's check this again. Okay, so what I found was if we go to the post here we're working with, we want the high res one. I'm just going to isolate that. No, that's the wrong one. Post high res, that's the one we want. No, that's the wrong one. I'll get there eventually. This is the one we want. Okay. Let's check this mesh. This is the high-res version of the mesh. Now, it all looks okay to me. Now, I did notice when I made some corrections that we had an inverted... The top of the mesh was actually inverted in the high-res, which was what I thought was causing the problem. But it does not look to be, except for here. It does look like we might have an inversion just here. I'm just going to have to go through this mesh very carefully and make sure nothing is inverted. Can't see anything. Okay, we have an issue here that we have to fix. We need to cap this, so... well, let's do that. And we also have to cap the one down here. This shouldn't be causing the issue, but we have to cap it anyway. Now I'm not seeing anything that looks inverted. At least I don't think I am. Wait. There's something up here that does not look quite right. Oh, I see. Okay. So that was correct the way it was. Wait. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is, looks to me like we have an open edge there. That could be causing the issue. Yeah, that could have been the problem. We'll find out in a minute. So I need to go back and look at the low res version of this because we're going to have to cap that as well. Let's turn off vertex coloring so I can see what I'm doing. Do we have an open edge on this one or not? I think we do. Yep, we do. Android Lust, hey, sorry it's taken me a little while to recognize you. Android Lust, I've been caught up with what I'm doing. We're trying to fix that problem with the inverted, with the fake out. It's good to see you, Android Lust. I saw the image you posted in the Discord. It looks really cool. I'll show it just before I finish the stream today. Remind me if I forget, because I love it. Now I also want to show some work that Selfless One has done and Wax Kink as well. Because Wax Kink has been doing some creepy looking spiders and this fish thing with horror teeth and the hands and the eyes. It looks really cool. But your image in particular, I love the lighting. It looks really good, Android Lust. So I want to show that all before I finish off today. Android Lust says, I was just about to ask about the bake problem. Yeah, we're trying to work that out. I'm just going to check the to make sure we don't have any inverted polys here on the low res. I don't think we do. We did check this last week. Everything looks fine. I don't see any problems there. But what we are going to have to do is, because I've just added some more polys, 2 extra polys to the top here, is we're going to have to do an unwrap and a repack, I think. Yeah, let's just have a look at this. Yeah, well, to begin with, we're going to have to do a flatten mapping. I'm just going to do this in max, it's just easier. Mapping, flatten mapping. And then we're just going to get it to repack. Let me try and not spell copy all over myself today. Okay. Let's try this again. So we're going to export, we'll collapse the stack. This is the low res left post. Gate post low res, that's the one we want. And then we want the high res. And gate post high res. Okay, let's jump back into Substance Painter and try this again. Now, I'm just going to create a new project just to make sure nothing gets left behind. Okay, post low res. Discard. Bake. Okay, post high res. Okay, let's try it again. Andrew Doss says, Halloween months brings out the best art. It does. Andrew Doss says, you know, if it was water and not coffee that the spill wouldn't have been so bad. I know. No, we're still having this problem. Why? Why are you doing this? That is the weirdest thing. I really, really am confused. I am confused. We have it on the bottom as well, so it seems to be an issue. Oh, I don't know. This is the latest version of Substance Painter 2, by the way, so this is the whatever it is. Whatever the latest one is. 1.73 or something, I think. As Merv says, you could always use a better baker. Look, the baking in Painter is generally fine. It's obviously a problem that it's something I've done. And usually this problem is a UV problem. That generally is what's going on here. But we've checked the UVs. The UVs are fine. So it's really, really, really odd. It's in the bake out because when I remove the normal map and the ambient occlusion, so it's something to do with the normal map. The bake out on the normal map. It's just really weird. You know, it's looking at the mesh. That's very strange. Hang on. I was just thinking that without the normal map, it still looks okay. I'm just going to remove the normal map again. I'm going to get rid of the ambient occlusion first because that's distracting. Okay, now look, it looks to me like we might be slightly out here with the bake. You see we're getting a mismatch between on the bake on the normal map here. So that generally indicates that the mesh is not aligned correctly. Switch to UV view and Painter. Yeah, it looks to me like we're not getting a match, I don't think, on the alignment. Yeah, that looks like the issue. Hang on, let's check that. So we're going to go with the post high res, post low res. We'll start with the high res and we're going to check position here. So minus 108753. No, they look like they're correctly lined up to me. Now the other issue is usually could be the pivot position, but again they both look lined up to me as well. So they're both identical, and they should be because they were copied from each other. But what we'll do, just to be on the safe side, is when in doubt, reset the X form. It can create all sorts of weird issues sometimes. Okay, so again, we're checking our position. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. It might be a bit small for you to read on screen, but it just gives me the X, Y, and the Z position of each asset. So I'm just flipping between them to make sure that they both match up, and they do. So that should not be an issue. Pivot position is in the correct spot for both of them. It's not moving, so that should be correct. Alright, let's export the low-res version again. All the joys of working in 3D, hey? Let's export the high-res version. Let's jump back into Painter and give it a go again. So, we want the low-res post. Compute tangent space. We're not getting it to unwrap. I'm just making sure nothing is selected that shouldn't be. In case something has changed between the new versions of the software. Let's bake out the maps. Select the high-res version. Turn off the ID map. I'm just going to change this to vertex. I'm going to turn it off anyway, but making sure nothing else has changed. Alright, let's try it again. Smurf says the cage sucks. Yeah, no. And again, we're still getting this issue. This is driving me mad. And again, it looks like it's an offset on the bake out. It's not lining up when it's doing its bake. Now it's not the mesh because we've checked that. Something else is going on. Smurf says, could always try painting on it with a plain layer and a simple circle white brush in the 3D viewport, not the UV view. Or export it to a different internal intermediary format instead of FBX or OBJ like PLY or something. Let's just check the export from Max, because again, this is a new version. It's an updated version of Max because they did an update recently, and it's a new install on Windows 11. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-export. So I want to check my export settings. I just left it at default. This is the low res. So let's make sure that nothing is being exported that could be causing an issue. Turbo smooth, that should be fine. We don't want animation, I'm going to turn that off. We don't want cameras, I'm going to turn that off. We don't want lights, I'm going to turn that off. We don't have audio. I think I'm in centimeters. Automatic, it should be fine at automatic though. Do I want Z up on the axes? So we're going 2014, 2015 here for the FBX version. What about if we up that to 2019? I'm actually going to turn animation back on in case I forget, because I do sometimes export stuff that requires animation. I'm going to save this preset as Phil Does 3D. Let's try this one. Let's export the low res and export the high res using our new preset. Android DOS says, I'm sure the bake settings are back to default, right, after changing it last week? What, oh yeah, oh that's a good question. I'm pretty sure they are. When we create a new project, I'm pretty sure it creates, it reverts it back to standard, but we will double check that. Android DOS, that's a good point. So gate post low res. We want bake. And let's check these. Yeah, no, they're back to default. So let's load up the high res version again. And bake. Smurf says NDA probably prevents it, but I'll totally look at meshes if you send them to me. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see if we can't fix it in the stream. And if I can't, then I'll send you the mesh. No. Copy and save. Hey, Hellforge, it's good to see you. We're still trying to work out what's going on here with this bakeout. And we've discovered that it seems to be a mismatch in the between the high and the low res meshes. I've not run into this issue before, so I'm a little confused as to why it's not lining up. Very odd. Very, very, very odd. We're out of alignment. That's definitely what's going on though. But the meshes are completely aligned, so I can't work out why. When we export it, they don't line up. We've changed the FBX settings. What else could it be? Sniper Girl, hey Sniper Girl, it's good to see you. Sniper Girl says, haven't been kidnapped into playing a game. I'm shocked. Actually, if you notice, guys, I've taken the stream down from yesterday, and I didn't upload my edited version of the stream because I want to make sure. I'm worried about copyright strikes on my account, and even with that streamer setting that CD Projekt Red put into Cyberpunk, there's still copyright music apparently, even if you turn that on. So I've removed the stream from yesterday. So you guys that saw me play yesterday really badly, I didn't remove it because I played badly and crashed the car and almost flipped it 600 times. It was because, yeah, apparently there are still issues with copyright music even with that setting turned on in the game. So I just wanted to play it safe and took the yesterday's streams down. So I still have a copy of them on my hard drive, but I just haven't uploaded them. I'm doing really good, Sniper Girl. I hope you are too. Android Lost is eating food. Sniper Girl says, nice. We'll be doing that soon. You mean you're not having a bath, Sniper Girl? Sniper Girl says, give it to someone that has marmoset and they'll bake it for you. Yeah, if I can't work it out, I'm going to give the asset to Smurf and see if he can see what's going on. Because, yeah, I've not run into this issue before. Rename Card says, have you looked at the UVs? Yeah, no, that was the first thing I looked at because that's a good suggestion, and that's usually what the problem is. It's usually the UVs on the low-res mesh that cause this sort of issue, particularly at the top here. But, yeah, like I said, what I've noticed is it looks like the meshes are not lining up because with the bake out here, you can see the meshes aren't lined up. on the normal map, because when I remove the normal map you can see how it's not lined up. So there's an issue with the two meshes aligning, which could be causing this issue up here as well. So I'm pretty sure it's not the UVs. We did check the UVs, but we'll check it again. I'm going to throw the checker map down on the post here. And you can see that, unless I'm mistaken, the UVs look okay. I didn't forget to do these, did I? I did these. Look, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm just going to up the tiling on this a little bit more so we can get a better look. So let's go to 200 by 200. Yeah, no, the UVs are correct. I don't see an issue with the UVs. So it doesn't seem to be a UV problem. So if it's not a UV problem, it must be an alignment problem, and that's what I'm leaning toward. It's an alignment problem. Now they look aligned to me here in Max. See, if I turn the high and the low res on, they are completely aligned. There is no issue that I can see here. And we double checked it here with the position in 3D space, and they both align up. The same with the pivot point, they both look correct as well. So it's got me a bit beat. But what we might try doing as a test is, let's export the low res version. Instead of it as an FBX, let's try it as, let's do Smurf suggestion. Let's go with an OBJ. I'm pretty sure Substance Painter can import OBJ. We'll find out. So post LR, I'm just going to put it on my desktop for now. And export as post HR for high res. I just want to try and rule out it as a problem with the FBX export, perhaps. You're going to tell me you can't use OBJ now, aren't you? Yes, Painter can import OBJ, oh thank God. Rename, no, I'm not using a cage, I'm letting the program create its own cage, but let's try this with the OBJ and we'll go from there. So new project, desktop, post low res. You know, I'm going to leave it at 2K just again as another test. It shouldn't make any difference though. Okay, discard, bake, load up the high res OBJ. I'll even leave the ID map selected. We'll just set this to 2K. And let's bake and see what it does. And look at that. Now we do not have an issue. So, well, we do have a bit of an issue here in that we, it's not too bad. We're a little bit out, but look at the top here. The top is correct. So we have a problem with the FBX export from Max or import into Substance Painter. So somewhere in that FBX export, whether it's Max or Substance Painter, there's an issue. Rename card, yep, OBJ. Much better at the top, yeah. It's a problem with the FBX export. That's the issue. It's either the export from Max or the import into Painter. I'm not sure which is to blame. The only other thing I can do here is I'm going to make sure that the pivots are correct. So I'm going to affect the pivot, center to object. And again, affect the pivot, center to object. They were already centered, that wasn't the issue. Again, I'm just going to check to make sure that they're in the same position in 3D space. One of them is out a little bit by the look of it. So let's try this again. We'll go with the high res version. So 108, 108, 85412, 85412, but the Y position is a little bit out. So we'll take the position from the high res, which is 102, and copy that to the low res. Let's try and export it again as FBX from Max. So, but before I do that, again, I'm just going to do a reset on the X form for the low and the high res. Collapse the stack. Again, double check to make sure that they line up. 102, 102. I think we should be good. Let's export the low res back into our normal folder. At least by us going through this, we can work out what the issue was. So if we have the problem in the future, we should be able to fix it more quickly. And this is the first time I've run across this problem. Okay, exports. We're going to export it back to FBX. So gate post low res. The only thing I might try changing is the FBX format. Let's set it to 2016, 2017. Because you never know. Let's export the high res version. So gate post high res. And let's create a new project again. Models, car gate. Hang on, I'm confused. Where is my... Oh, here, car gate, that's the right one. We want the gate post low res. We will do it back at 4K. Discard. And try and bake it out again. We want the gate post high res. Smurf says not triangulating during FBX export. I'm not sure. And there we go. Now we're fine. So, what did we learn here, boys and girls? We learned that the meshes weren't aligned. It was slightly out. One of them was slightly out, and that was caused by the axes. So the axis wasn't completely the same on both meshes. Your rename card says, yeah, I did not realize your mesh was not in the center of the world. Yeah, no, because I create the gate as a whole, I don't place them in the middle of I don't zero them out before I export them, because I work on them like this. So yeah, the issue was the axes. So the axes was slightly off between the high res and the low res model, which meant that when we were doing the bake out, they weren't completely lined up. So that was the issue. I'm just double checking to make sure. Yep, no, I think we're good. I don't see any problem. Rename card says you might want to bake at the center. Yeah, I prefer not to bake at the center, because that way if I need to come back and make any alterations to the model, it's easy for me to actually fix it. If I bake everything out at 0 position, it makes it more difficult for me to make any corrections or changes. Renamed Card says there are so many things to try when this happens. There certainly are. That's what you got to love about 3D. You really got to, there's just one little thing can mess up something completely. Andrew Loss says normally I never export as my high poly as an FBX. What do you normally export it as, Android Lost? Smurf says I don't know what we learned. This could be any of a dozen different causes. Anything related to computers. Tell me about it. Yeah, I'm still having an issue with my drive. I'm still using an older NVIDIA driver because every time I upgrade it to the latest version, the only thing that crashes are anything to do with the Unreal Engine. Any other game I play is fine, but Unreal has real issues with on my computer with the latest version of the NVIDIA drivers. So I have a feeling. Well, I'm hoping the problem is something to do with my my overclocked RAM. That's what I'm going to test anyway after the stream, or maybe tomorrow. I didn't want to do it before the stream in case I broke my computer and couldn't stream for you guys, but I have a feeling it might, because I think Unreal is really sensitive to overclocked RAM. So yeah, I may have to look at that. I'm using an XMP profile, which is supposed to be safe, but I'm using an Asus motherboard and they tend to behave in a manner all to their own, so... Android Love says more like let's hope this never happens again. Anything related to computers. Radiant Card says yeah, I understand. Android Love says OBJ for high poly. Oh, okay. Sniper Girl says what we learned is Phil needs to get Marmoset to bake because he would have seen it in the program that they weren't aligned correctly. You are probably correct. And I do have a Marmoset license, I just don't have the software installed. I use another program which is called Mighty Bake, which is very good. I haven't got that installed though either. But I can show you guys. All it does is bake, and yeah, I can bake in Max as well, of course. But this program is very good. If all you want to do is bake, this is a very good program for that. It's called Mighty Bake, and all it does is bake out maps, not normal maps. It does it on the GPU as well, so it's just as fast as Painter. I haven't used Marmoset for a while, but Marmoset does it on the GPU too, I believe now. So yeah, I do have this program. I haven't got it installed, but it is good. But maybe I should just bite the bullet and install Marmoset. Is there any texture resolution? What's the max texture resolution that Marmoset can bake out at? You guys that use Marmoset, Smurf, you tell me. Is there any restriction on how high you can go with the bake out of your resolution? Because this one can bake out at 8K. It does 16 bits per channel as well, which is what I really liked about this program. But Marmoset might do that now, because I know that they just upgraded Marmoset. It does UDIM as well. Sniper Girl says, wow, translation. He had stuff that would have made his job easier, but he didn't have them installed just because he wanted to suffer with Painter's Baker that doesn't tell anything. Smurf says, I mean, I don't usually feel the need to bake higher than 8K. No, well, look, fair enough, but I'm just curious whether, say, can you bake at 8K in Marmoset? That's what I'm asking. Sniper Girl says, me either, have only done 8K on it. Smurf says it's been able to do 8K 16 bits since Toolbag 3. Okay, well there you go. I don't use Marmoset. Anyway, so yeah, again, I have this program as well called Mighty Bake, which is very good. But and the reason actually that I use this program is because it natively supports things like Unreal 4 and Unity, of course. But I might just maybe look at Marmoset 4, I think it is now, isn't it? The latest one. It's huge when you install it, and if all I want to use it for is to do a bake out, it just seems wasteful for me to have a program that's of the scope of Marmoset, which does a whole lot of else besides baking stuff out, to install that just to do baking. Whereas this program is very light, very small, it just does baking. I don't know. Maybe I should just... I mean, it's not like I'm running short of hard drive space or anything. I don't know. It just seems wasteful for me to install a program like Marmoset when I'm not going to use it. All I'm going to do is bake out in it. But maybe that's just me. Tool bagel. I didn't say tool bagel. I said tool bag. It's my Australian accent. Sniper Girl says, yeah, version 4. Smurf says, the tutorial from 2020 says 8K is the max. I don't know if Toolbag 4 increases that size or not. No, that's fine. I was just curious if, because you know here with Painter, for a very long time, you couldn't go higher than a certain resolution. And I'm used to programs like Mari where I can bake out at any resolution I want, providing I have enough memory. Generally, I wouldn't want to go higher than 8K though either. I'm just saying. Smurf says Toolbag 3 goes up to 32-bit bakes. It's not the bit that I'm more worried about the resolution than the bit rate than the bit depth. Although 32-bit is nice. Sniper Girl says, but you can fix screwing easily as hell in Marmoset. What? But you can fix screwing. You'd see that meshes weren't aligned correctly, amongst other things. It would save you so much time. Yeah, look, I'm not arguing with you guys. You are probably 100% correct that, and the reason I've only ever used Painter now is because generally Painter is fine. I've never usually had a problem with Painter, except for now. And it's making me think, maybe I should reevaluate how I'm doing these bakeouts and not rely on Painter to do it anymore. Sniper Girl says, just Googled, can only go up to 8K according to the post they made in November for 2020. Smurf says that's the post he was referencing. Smurf says, I don't have Toolbag 4, so my point on reference is Toolbag 3. Okay. Yeah, anyway. Maybe I should just do the bakeouts in Max, because Max does a pretty good job. The reason I was sticking to Painter is because it's all in one, you know what I mean? I'm going to be texturing in Painter, so I think, it's easier for me just to do a bake out from high to low in Painter as well, instead of doing it in another program and then bringing that normal map into Painter, and it was just easier this way. But after this episode here, where it's annoyed me, I'm not quite so sure that I want to keep using Painter's bake tool. Anyway, we got there in the end. That's the important thing. What we need to do now is we need to bake out just the ID map. So we're going to turn everything off. Just keep the ID. We're going to go with the vertex color. And we're going to remove the high res because we want to use the low res because that's the one that has the vertex coloring attached to it. And we're just baking out the ID map now. And we're done. Let's save the project because, because save and copy is always the way to go. Now we're going to call this car gate post. Oh yeah, Smurf says, but Toolbag has so much more samples, Philbert. 64 times sampling. Yeah, I think, I don't think Painter goes past 16, or I could be wrong. I'm not really sure on the sampling, actually. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it goes up to 8 times, only up to 8 times, 8 times sampling in Painter. So 64 times sampling is very good. Andrew Dutt says, is Max bakes relatively fast? Yeah, Max's bakes are very fast. I've never done a comparison. One day I really should sit down and compare the bakes between Painter, Max, Mighty Bake, and let's say Marmoset, and do a comparison between all four of them to see which one is producing the best looking bake. Just finding the time to sit down and do that, because that's quite time consuming just for a test. Smurf says so smooth, 64 times sampling, it would be smooth and fast, Sniper Girl says. Smurf says, you know old people, they're resistant to change and new technology. Hey, come on, I wouldn't be in this field of work if I was that resistant to change and new technology. I'm always looking at new stuff. It's part of my job at the ArchViz studio. Just to trial new software that might be good for the pipeline, might speed up the pipeline. I'm not saying I like doing it, but I have to do it. Smurf says, ooh, 8 times sampling. Ew. I literally die. You guys are spoilt though now with the hardware we've got available today. I remember times when you couldn't have any sampling because it would just bring your computer to a grinding halt. Because I was around when Moses was around, so. Sniper Girl says, ooh, 8K. Android Lost says, no ZBrush bake comparison. No, Zebra. Oh. No, there was no ZBrush bake comparison because I refused to even use that interface. Although ZBrush, I've heard, is actually quite good as well. Sniper Girl says, can't speak about other programs. Marmoset is super fast in baking. Yeah, but one might give you a better result than the other. And I'm quite disappointed here with Painter, actually, I have to say. But this is the first time I've had this issue, so I really shouldn't whinge too much, but I will. Sniper Girl says, remember using Unreal 1.2 engine when I was a kid? It didn't have normal maps. I remember using the original Unreal engine because I used to create deathmatch maps back in the day when multiplayer was just becoming a big thing online multiplayer. There was a thing called death matches in the Unreal Engine, and I used to create maps and release them online for people to play in death matches. So yeah, I remember the original Unreal Engine. I've been around that long. The same, Sniper Girl says, yeah, it was fun. It was fun playing with the original Unreal Engine because there was nothing like it at the time. It was quite revolutionary when it was first released, Unreal and the Unreal Engine. Compared to what we got today, which is just super awesome. The art tools and stuff in the Unreal Engine 4 and 5 are really amazing. I'm just looking at my error message down here in the corner. That's right. Yeah. Quake. Smurfberry says Quake. Yes, well look, I remember Quake as well. I remember playing Quake. I don't think I ever released any maps for Quake. I think I played with the editor. But Quake used to take a really long time to bake out. If you were creating maps in Quake and then maps in Unreal, the original Unreal, Unreal used to bake out much more quickly than Quake. Like Quake would take days back on the old hardware as well, whereas Unreal would do it in like hours. So, yeah. So, but I did used to play with Quake as well. The good old days. I think I've still got a boxed copy of Quake upstairs, actually. An actual physical box. No one buys boxes anymore because everything's digitally downloaded, but I'm pretty sure I still have the original Quake boxed game up in my cupboard. Sniper Girl says, Unreal Tournament Game of the Year edition came with a built-in game editor. Yep, Unreal Tournament. I remember that as well. Which was released after Unreal the game. So Unreal was like the single-player game. And then Unreal Tournament, which is like the multiplayer-focused Unreal. I love it. Sniper Girl shoots Smurf with a Redeemer. Sniper Girl says, "I'll be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't even know that Quake was a thing until much later." Oh, Quake is a classic. I loved Quake. Quake was an amazing game. Because there was nothing like it. And Doom. Do you guys remember Doom? Doom was an amazing game. Well, Doom has been re-released for RTX, of course, by NVIDIA. But the original Doom was an amazing game as well. Compared to the graphics of today, though, it was really quite horrible looking. Android Lot says, I used to play Unreal Tournament all day at school. Yeah, I loved Unreal Tournament. Bunny hopping around the map, shooting everyone. Coffee, yes, yes, more coffee. I need more coffee, and I've got to make sure I don't spill it on myself today. Sniper Girl says, not saying it wasn't. I was a nerd living in Redneckville, USA. Had nobody into computer games where I live. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, well, it's sad. It's always nice to play games with friends. That's the great thing about the internet now. Of course, you can play with friends from all over the world. Not like back then when, the internet wasn't around. Or the World Wide Web. So again, we're all spoilt for choice these days. People don't realise just how bad it was back in the day. Just how limited you were with what you could play and how you could play and where you could play. Still, they were the good old days of gaming. Garage gaming days. Nerve says, I had this crudely generic beige computer that some local computer shop built that had an audio glitch in Quake 2 and in Warcraft 2 that made the sound clip, or that made everything sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, of course, back then too, it was all of the. There's a term for it, and I can't remember what the term is for the style of music, that 8-bit sounding music. Is it called 8-bit music? Maybe. Yeah, but compared to the cinematic soundtracks we get these days in games. And I remember my old Amiga computer. I had a Commodore 64, and then I had an Amiga 1200, and good old days of gaming. Smurf says, I still played through the entirety of both. The game I was trying to think about, Diablo. I've still got a box copy of Diablo as well, the original Diablo game. That was a good game. Snappy Girl says, my parents had a PC growing up, Windows 95. I remember Windows 3.1. Does that make me old? Snappy Girl says, was the first PC I used. Android Lost says, same, I used to love not dinosaur PCs. Snappy Girl says, yeah, especially on how the screens doubled as lethal weapon. The big CRT monitors and stuff, yeah, they were heavy and they were big. Compared to today's screens, which are thin and light. Like, yeah, I couldn't believe it when I upgraded my plasma TV to the 4K, whatever it is now. It's not plasma. The weight difference. Like, my plasma TV weighed like 80 kilograms, and the new TV weighs like 20 kilograms. It's just a huge difference. Smurf says, Mum had a 3.1 computer. And now I do feel old. Android Lust says, what? WTF did I type? Yeah, I was trying to work out what you meant by Android Lust by I used to love not dinosaur PCs. Hellforge says, I started gaming on a Windows DOS back in the day. I'm super old. Wow. Windows DOS. I've not done that. I have used 3.1, Windows 3.1 though. Back in the day. Smurf says, I played backgammon and checkers on it. Snappy Girl says, nice. Android Dust, we kind of figured it out. Smurf says, Mum, or Mom, as you guys in the US say, also had some sort of ancient laptop that weighed like 30 pounds and had a 4-inch screen. And the old phones, do you remember mobile phones? When mobile phones were first introduced, they were the size of a brick, literally the size of a brick. They were like that long and that thick, and they had this big aerial that stuck out the top. And I'm not old enough to have a phone like that, but I remember my very first mobile phone was I wonder if I've still got it in a box somewhere, because I don't like to throw any technology out. Not that you'd ever use it, or could you even use it these days, but it was about that thick and about that long. Oh, technology. The way it changes so quickly. Smurf says, I think that that one had a big 8-inch floppies to run it. Oh, I remember the old big 8-inch floppy disks as well. Smurf says, I found it in the attic once, a hard plastic carry case. It was like a suitcase that unfolded into a computer. Nice. You should hold on to those things. You never know in the future, you know. They're retro. Everything old is new again. Although why you'd want to compute on something that old, I don't know, but you know, people are strange. Sniper Girl says to Smurf, wow, throw it at someone and you killed them. Smurf says I could get it to post, but didn't know any of the commands to do anything with it. That is actually pretty cool, as Android Lust says. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, let's start texturing this up, shall we? Let's get some work done today. Oh, we fixed that problem, so we can't say we didn't do any work. Yeah, try asking Google, as Sniper Girl says. Because it can be fun to play with these old technologies, this old retro technology. You remember the old monitors? They used not to be colour, they used to be green and black. Like green text on a black screen. Back before VGA became a thing. I was not old enough, despite what Sniper Girl might think and say, to use a computer that had a green screen. It was always VGA. When I started using computers, it was VGA. Sniper Girl says is going to do some work. Oh, she's crying from shock. I think it was white phosphorus CRT. Smurf says. All right. So we're going to make this post a metallic post. And we're going to start, I think, with the largest part for texturing, which will be the interior part here. Because if we start with the interior, like the largest flat bits, basically, that'll then give us a good base to work from to texture up the rest of it. So let's do that. We need to find a metal that we can use as a base for everything. We're going to assign it to everything. So let's see here. We do have quite a few metals. I just want an underlying metal. Maybe this one. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, that might work for what we want. Just for the underlying metal. Yeah, it's a little bit rusted, which is good. Just want to check the tiling, and I might pull back a little on the height information, I think. Smurf says, yeah, we kind of turned it into Just Chat after the baking was fixed. Next week is Just Chat, by the way, guys. The last stream of each month, so next week's Tuesday stream is going to be the Just Chat stream. Every stream is a Just Chat stream, you know me. I can't help myself. Sniper Girl says, my food will be here in about 3 minutes. AFK for a little bit, no problem. What food are you getting? Tell me. Tell me. What are you eating? I'm hungry now. She says, I didn't feel like cooking, so I ordered. Android Lust says, this year is going fast. I know. We're going to November, next month, like in a week. November, December, Christmas, 2 months. Can you believe that? I'll hold my hand that way, not that way. 2 months. So I agree. And I told you, the older you get, the quicker it goes. It's quite frightening, really. Quite frightening. Let's see here. We're going to get rid of this blank layer at the bottom because we don't need that. And And I'm going to find the layer. Might just play with the scaling here a little bit. Might also just pull back on the height a little bit on some of these. That's not the layer I want. This is a smart material, by the way, which is why it's got so many layers going on. I might actually remove the gloss on it as well, because this is an underlying metal. I don't want it to be glossy, so I'm going to take the curvature map away for the gloss. This is like a dirt layer that's being applied. I might remove that as well. Yeah, we'll get rid of the grunge layer because we're going to be layering on top of this anyway. This one is interesting. This one's being applied around the edges of the decoration. Where is it? Which is interesting, but I might just see if we can make some changes to that as well. It's this rust layer. I'm just going to pull it back a little bit because I think it's a little bit heavy. So we'll just pull it in a little bit. Okay, what else we got? What else? Okay, this is like this specky white flecks that they've got going on. Well, I don't mind it. Most of it's going to be covered up anyway with other textures, but I think that's better. So we've just got an underlying metallic rusting colour. That's a good starting point for us to work from. Let's save it. I can have a copy. Sniper girl must have gone to get her food. I want to know what she's eating. I'm hungry. Okay, so let's start texturing this up, and I guess we'll work our way from the top to the bottom because that's generally easier. So let's find something interesting for this filigree that we've got going on at the top of the column, and I think we're going to go with we're going to make this a bling looking gate, so we're going to go with a gold Smurfberry. I did create a smart material that we used for the levers in the lift. I may reuse that for a couple of the decoration pieces for the filigree on the post. We'll see how we go. Oh, Smurfs, be right back. Gone to check the mailbox. Not Jade. Android Lost says no, not Jade. It's helpful. It's once everything Jade, isn't it? I don't think there's anything we can make Jade. Well, we could if we wanted to, you know. We really could. But let's start with the gold and we'll go from there. Let's try this one. There are certain gold smart materials that I like to reuse because they're really quite nice. But for this one we're going to mask with color selection to the swirls. And that's all well and good, but it looks a bit too shiny for me, so I'm going to mix that with another gold. And we'll try this one here. Let's group both of these together. And we're just going to call the group swirls, because why not? And we're going to mask the group with color selection just to the swirls. And we're going to... what are we going to? We're going to add a smart mask. And we'll go with surface worn, because again that's one that I like to use all the time because it's such an interesting smart mask. And I'm actually going to reduce the height information. The bump on this is a bit too much, so we'll go to height. I'm just going to pull that back. We're going to probably do the same for the underlying one as well, just so it's a little bit smoother. And let's go back to our smart mask. And I'm just going to pull it back so it's not quite so shiny, because I mean this post has been outside, so it's been weathered and everything. You wouldn't expect it to be super shiny. We might also go into the metallic. Maybe the roughness. I'm just wondering if it's too, if I want to distress it a bit more or not. We won't for now. We'll wait till we get a bit more textured up, and then we might distress it a bit more. But anyway, Smurf says good choice. Gold. I knew you'd like the gold. Android Lust suggested jade, but I think it's Hellforge that's into the jade. Let's look at this little filigree flowery thing here. So back to our smart materials, and for that, let's see, what do we want there? What could look cool? We could make that jade if you want. Do you guys want to see what jade would look like? Let's have a look. Let's see what jade would look like. I just can't help myself. It wouldn't be jade. It's a metallic post. You would not make it jade. I mean, you could if you wanted to, because, you know, we can do whatever we want, but you generally wouldn't. You wouldn't make it jade usually. And I don't really like the look of the jade, so it was fun as an experiment, but no. What else do we have though that could look cool? We could make it like a painted metal if we wanted to. Andrew Luss says jade sticks out. Yeah, it does. We could have changed the color. The color wasn't right, and we could have darkened it up. It would have made it look more interesting. Do you want me to try and see if we can get a jade to work on it? Do you guys want me to do that? I'll do that if you like. Like for instance, let's go back to jade. Let's see. I generally wouldn't pick jade for this. Mask with color selection to filigree. Okay, so the color is too. I don't know. I don't like the insipid green of it, but so we could start by changing the color if we wanted to. We could make it darker, maybe desaturate it a bit so it's not quite so green. Pull back here so we can get a better look. We could also change up the color here, which is the darker color inside of it, make it a bit darker. Darken this one up a bit. Maybe even darken up the yellow. Andrew Luss says, does it read as jade though? Everyone knows gold. Yeah, well I get what you're saying. I usually would not put jade on a column, a metal column like this. So yeah, I don't think I've ever seen jade on a column, like on a metal column like this, outside fence post thingy. I'm not saying you can't, but in real life I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So yeah, I wouldn't pick jade for these really. You only see, yeah, I've only seen jade on jewelry as well. I mean, or jewelry or some knickknacks, bric-a-brac sort of stuff. I've seen jade used there as well, like maybe a jade base for a figurine or that sort of thing. I've seen jade used like that, or actually a figurine itself made of jade. But I've not actually seen it used as a decorative thing on things like posts or walls, or yeah, it's on you wouldn't generally find it on a post like this. I was just curious. I won't delete it, but I'm going to turn it off. We're going to see what we can find that might be more appropriate, I think. So I'm going to go with a metal. Let's see. I want to see if I can change the color. Let's try this. I want to see if I can change the color from the green. So I'm going to mask with color selection to that. We can change it from the green, but we're going to have to make it so we can see it before we change it. Not that one. Probably this one. Snappy Girl says, well, that just happened. What happened? What happened, Snappy Girl? I'm going to knock back the hide information here. Andrew Lost says, lost your food. Snappy Girl says, kind of forgot to change the address from my work address to my home address when I made the order. Snappy Girl says, I luckily live super close to where I work, but still felt bad. Oh no, so they sent it to your work address and not to your home address. Snappy Girl says she was super nice and I gave her an extra tip. Oh, that's good. Let's change the screen. This screen is horrible. Let's go into more of a blue. Darker blue. Snappy Girl says, not, she texted me and I gave her the right address. Okay. She understood and all, but still, wow. Feel like an ass. Mistakes happen, as Android Lost says, that's right. I mean, she didn't do it on purpose, so you should only feel bad about that sort of thing if you did it on purpose. You didn't do it on purpose, so you shouldn't feel bad. Oh no, she texted me. Okay, I was trying to work out what you meant. Android, Snappy Girl says to Android last year, she got a good laugh at it still. We might leave the blue here and I'm going to move on to another asset and then we can come back again because I'm going to have to sort of like fiddle with all of the bits and pieces to get everything coherently looking good. We are going to remove the jade though because I really don't want jade. Okay, let's look at maybe these pieces here. Let's do a save before I do anything because you never know. So what have we got out? What do we got? Let's have a look at this. Don't know that I really like this material, to be honest. Yeah, let's remove that. Let's see what this one looks like. I apply it to everything because it gives me a better idea of whether it's going to work or not. And actually this is actually interesting. So let's mask with color selection to these swirly bits. And also maybe to these bits. Do I want to do a mix? Not at the moment. Let's keep going with the rest of this. We might even get this post done today. Shock horror. Probably not, because Spill won't shut up. Let's try this metal now. This is interesting, has a purple tint to it. This could be interesting for the borders. So let's mask with color selection to the border. Basically what we're going to do too is once we've worked out our colors on the post here, then we can work much more quickly with the gate because we're going to match the gate up to the post. So it will help us to texture up the actual gates once we get the posts sorted. Okay, let us. I might pick up on the blue a little bit more. So I think what I might do is I might find the blue, which is this one. I'm going to call this blue painted so I know what it is. Make sure I name everything correctly, it makes my life much easier. And we're going to call this one middle swirls. And this one's going to be called metal edges. And this one is, we'll call this one base metal. So we're going to go to the blue painted and we're going to add a mask with color selection. We'll see what that looks like with having the blue on it as well. Can't say I love that, to be honest. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't know. Maybe. Because remember, whatever we put on this, we're going to pick up on the gate. So we have to be happy with what we're doing here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like the blue? Do you think it might be better as a different colour? What's your guys' opinion? I just thought blue because, do you remember when we did the Art Deco gates that are outside the building, at the back of the building? We put like a pale blue metallic paint on that. This doesn't have to be the same as that, but that's the reason I originally went with a blue. Or we could swap it out for something completely different. And Sniper Girl says, I ordered a bacon burger, yum. Swiss cheese and also scrambled egg, oh yum. And it came with seasoned fries. Oh, I'm so hungry now, yum. I've got to have lunch after I finish my stream. Because that sounds nice. Sniper Girl says, you asked me that before I left. Oh, did I? Smurfberry says pretty neat. Android Love says it doesn't look bad, but let me turn off F-Lux. Not sure what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to blue. Should we switch it out to something completely different? This is like a painted metal. Let's just texture up the rest of it, and then we can come back to this blue, and we can see what might look cool. So let's look at these bits here now. These swirly bits toward the top, I guess. What else do we have? Let's have a look at this gold. This is one of my smart materials that I created for the sigils in the game. I should actually look at the material we created for the elevator as well. You know, I don't like that. For the elevator. Android Love says, F-Lux is a program that changes the light temperature of your monitor during night. Oh, okay. I don't bother with any of that. Abigail says, yeah, F-Lux reduces blue light when you want. Is that like the setting that's built into Windows? It's like there's a setting in Windows that you can turn something right. I don't turn it on, but there is a setting here, something about night light. I don't know. I think that's supposed to take out some of the blue from your screen as well. Because blue is what prevents you from sleeping. So, the blue light. So because what Android Lust said. Android Lust says it's good for my eyes, but not good for color accuracy, but it can be disabled easily. I'm looking for this smart material that we made for the elevator. I can't remember what I called it. The story of my life. What did I call it? Probably we'll start with E for elevator, maybe? Was I that organized? Yes, I was that organized. Good. So I created these two smart materials we're using for the elevator controller. Let's see what one of these looks like. I think this might be quite a heavy smart material though, so it might take the program a little while, and hopefully it won't crash the program. Because I do remember when I made this, there are a lot of layers in it. Android Lust says, didn't know about that Windows setting. Yeah, there is that setting built into Windows. Okay, now let's see what we can do with this. We're going to start by knocking back the hide information. Again, I'm just waiting for Substance to catch up to me here. So we just want a little bit of a bump, but not too much. Again, I'm waiting for Substance here to catch up. And what we can do now is we can add a smart mask. And let's go with, let's try, oh wow, maybe let's try dirt cavities. Let's see what that gives us. Now again, I'm applying this to the entire model at this stage. And I'm going to use the smart mask to do a blend between the two. But we've got to find the right mask. Let's just pull back so we can look at it from a distance. It'll make it easier. I don't like the blue. I'm already decided that I don't like that blue. Andrew Lust says time to save. Good suggestion. Let's do that so I can have a coffee and read your messages. Snappy Girl says, not going to lie, when I first saw that, always pictured a dark stone for the main body, granite or something, and a gold trim. Yeah, I thought we might make the posts a little bit more interesting by making them metal as opposed to stone. So it's because, I mean, obviously the gates themselves are going to be metal. And then we have the posts either side, as well as that that urn that sits at the top, and that urn is actually metal. So if we jump into max, so this urn is metal, it's photogrammetry texture. So and this has got to be metal because it's a gate. So I thought we might make this metal as well. So we've got metal, metal, and metal. We are going to be creating a fence. I haven't come up with the design yet. We'll do that on stream. And we'll do that once we've textured up the gate, because we're going to reuse parts of the gate for the design of the rest of the fence. So, and I thought we will make the fence stone. Part of it stone anyway. So it'll be like a mixture of stone and metal. With the, we will reuse the metallic posts here as part of the fence line as well. So, yeah, but I understand why you thought it might have been that stone might look cool as well, and we could make it stone. It doesn't have to be metal. I just thought metal might be more interesting. So you both thought it should be stone. Do you want me to make it stone? We can make it stone. Not the only one? Andrew Loss says mainly because of the urn. Yeah, and again, it's confusing because you think the urn is going to be stone, but the urn is actually metal. Let me turn the texture on for the urn. I didn't bring the texture in because I was considering remapping it anyway, like retexturing it. Where did I put the texture for it is the next question. Models, okay, textures. Yeah, this is the urn texture here. It's called an ornamental planter, and I've actually pulled the wrong bitmap up into my... That's the one I want up there. I don't want this one. This is the one I want. I pulled the wrong... I use a shortcut menu for everything I use regularly, and I pulled the wrong one up. So this is actually the texture for the urn. Let me find the urn. This one here. Again, hard to see because it's so dark, but that's like the urn texture, and it's that dark metal, which is why I thought we might make the post metal as well. So that was my reasoning for going with a metal, because the urn is actually a metal. A dark metal at that as well. So that's why I thought we might sort of pick up on that in the post. Yeah, Andrew Loss says, I thought the urn wasn't metal. Smurf says, Dr. Seuss fence. Dr. Seuss fence. Snappy Girl says, the urn can be metal and the column can be stone. It's still, look, you're right, it could. It could. Now, why is my... I should have... why is that on? Thank you, well, Lisa tells me, thank you, Justin, for following the channel, and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm just curious because I have notifications turned off, or I should have. I'm just going to check my notification setting here. Focus assist, it's switched off, it should be on. Why is it off during these times? Oh, because the time is incorrect. Why is that? Let me just do some housekeeping here while you guys are watching me on stream. That should be 10. And that should be 1. Because I stream from 11 to 1. So 10:45 it starts, then 1:30. Yeah. 1:15 actually. That would probably be better. No, 1:30. It's 1:30 just in case I go over time. Alright. priority adding. So now it's on. I don't know what caused that. I wonder why it reset. It shouldn't have. Anyway, but yes, welcome Justin. Welcome to Phil Does 3D. If you have any questions while I work, feel free to ask me. If you want to join the Phil Does 3D server, the Discord server, feel free to do that as well. Love your work. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, so if you the Discord server is where you guys can show your work off in the gallery, or you can link to your portfolio or your demo reel or your art station or anything like that if you want. There's a tutorials and tips section on the Phil Does 3D Discord as well, which is full of really interesting and useful tutorials that the guys and girls that are members of the server have come across over the years. They post them in the tutorials and tips section. So if you've got any questions, you can always ask in the Discord server as well. About anything you're working on. If you're stuck on something, or you want a hand, or you want an opinion. Yeah, I don't like the blue. We could go with a metal, but with a stone for the post. But I think I'm going to make an executive decision and say no. We're going to stick to metal. But I do want to swap out this blue because I really don't like the blue. Yeah, I'm going to remove that completely. Let's go back to our smart materials. Android Lust, which would look better in the actual environment though. So do you guys think that the post would look better as stone as opposed to metal? Like, is that what you're telling me? Let's see. Let's have a look here. I do have a stone that I've got. Let's just use a smart material I've already created for something else. Okay. Actually, this one might have a UV map, so I can't use that one. But I do have. I do have stone that I've used somewhere else. Not marble. Let's just do a spill to the search on a stone. Okay. I'm just curious. I'm just going to make sure I'm at the top of my stack here. Let's throw a stone down. Again, let's just wait for Substance Painter here. We could mask it with color selection to the background. I'm just trying to work out how you guys envision this. Metal is weird, Smurfberries. It's not weird, you know. You have metal posts. Android Love says maybe we're just used to seeing non-metal columns for A. Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, maybe you are. Maybe you guys are just used to not seeing. You're used to seeing stone columns and stuff and posts, whereas metal posts are quite common. I'm just going to remove the mask. Because I just think it looks boring as stone, to be honest. Like we could make it look more interesting by picking up other stone colours through the decorative pieces, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really like stone. I like metal. Remember, these are the main gates of the entryway for the estate. So this is, you know, these are the main gates you drive through your car through to get into the estate. Smurf says metal posts are usually poles and cylinders. Andrew Luss says it's ingrained in our brains. Andrew Luss says, did you decide on ivy? Yeah, we will be growing ivy over it. I want to, let's have a look here. Look, let's go to Google. Let's say estate gates, and we're going to do an image search. Stop that. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, we've got brickwork, we do have stonework. This one looks like it might be a metal. Not quite sure. I wish they give you a larger image, but this is a metal. Stone. See, I do have stone on the other gates, so I wanted to go for something different. We have 3 really decorative gates in the game. We've got the Art Deco gates at the back. They're metal with stone posts. We've got the main gate that you enter before you get trapped in the game, which is where the building is, the house, and they are metal with stone. So I thought for something different for the first gate you come across in the game, which is the entryway to the grounds, we'd have metal. That was my thinking. And you can have metal. I mean, there are times when you do have metal posts. So yeah, that was my original thinking. We'd go with metal because like this one has metal as well, because the other 2 gates have stone posts. See this one here? This one has metal. So it's not unusual to have metal posts on a gate. So yes, and we will be growing ivy over it as well anyway. Over the majority of the gate, there'll be ivy. We'll have ivy growing over a couple of the posts, and we'll have ivy growing over probably only one half of the gate, because I have to think for gameplay purposes as well. Like if you're playing the game, unless I have the gate already open, which is possible, I could do that. If I wanted to make the gate interactive, so the player has to walk up to the gate and interact with it to open it, like the other gate, I can't have ivy growing. Yeah, I can't really have ivy growing on the half of the gate that's movable, because where the ivy grows into the ground, it would move with the gate, if that makes sense. Or it would at least rotate. You might be able to fake it without the player realizing. But anyway, we will have ivy growing on the post. We will have ivy growing at least on half of the gate. We're going to reuse the posts for part of the fence line all the way around. And then we can just reuse the ivy here and there. We'll grow a couple of variations of the ivy that we can use alternate between different fence posts around the outside fence line. So yes, long story short, there will be ivy growing. How big is the gate compared to a human? Good question. Well, it has to be big enough for a car to drive through. So if we imagine a car in front of the gate, let's sort of like use a box to represent a car. So a car would probably be about maybe like that, I guess. So let's pretend that's a car, the size of a car. So it's big enough for a car to drive through. So if we imagine the box as a car, then yeah, I guess when a person stands beside a car, their head generally goes to probably about there. So the head height would be about there, sort of thing. Right about there. So that's sort of the size of the gate. So yeah, head height probably around about there. I'm surprised you guys have an aversion to a metal post. It's very strange. Particularly with these old Victorian type gates, they usually had metal posts either side of the gate. And I just thought it might be interesting when we create the fence line to have metal posts as part of the fence line with metal decorative bits in the middle, and probably stone for the actual fence itself. So the fence would be stone, it would have metal posts either end, and it would have like decorative metal inlay inside the stone. If you guys can sort of picture what I'm talking about. And I just thought that could look interesting, having the metal posts between the sections of the fence. It's because you're American, yeah, that's right. Europeans know what I'm talking about. They're used to seeing the old Victorian-y looking decorative stuff. The English, they know what I'm talking about. And anyway, it's substance, so if we don't like it, it's so easy to change it. We can always swap out the texture for anything we want, really. If we don't like it, once we get it in, then we can change it. And yeah, that was my reasoning though for not going with a stone, because I just wanted, because the other two gates are stone and metal. For this one, I thought we'd go metal and metal, just to swap it up a bit. And because it is the main gate to the estate. I'd like to pick up on the filigree a little bit more though than just this gold and bronze colour. I mean that's not bad. I mean that's subtle. Just going to do a save before I do anything. But I just want to see what else we've got here that might be interesting. And I won't really know until I look through it and sort of like throw down a couple and see if they work or if they don't. I created some smart materials that I've never actually used in the game because I think I'm going to use them when we come to do the basement. Just curious what they look like. I made them a while ago and I've forgotten exactly what they look like. I'm just going to throw this one down and have a look. This is like a damaged wall, basement wall. I'm just curious to see what it's like on the post. No, it's not going to work for the post. And what else we got? I have to be careful of these sci-fi ones because they have a tendency to crash the program for some reason. Unfortunately, because some of them are really quite interesting. Let's see what. Let's see what this one looks like. Let's mask with color selection to. Let's undo that. Let's mask with color selection to. I'm just trying to break up the gold a little bit. Let's also pick that. Now we're going for time. We might pick this up next week. I'm just going to save this because we still have to add like an overall dirt layer as well. And I just want to try and see if we can't break up the gold a little bit. I'm just worried that there's a bit too much gold going on. But we can look at that next week. I want to show the stuff that you guys posted in the gallery because it looks so cool. So yeah, we'll pick this up next week on Monday's stream. The Tuesday next week is a Just Chat stream, so we'll see how we go on Monday. Once we get the color scheme sorted for the post, then we can start texturing the gate up quite quickly because we're going to use the same materials. I'll save them out as smart materials that we can then just reapply to the main gate, so it's consistent between the two. But for now, let's have a look at what you guys have posted in the Discord gallery. And we're going to start with Wax Kink. That's okay, I'm not closing the stream down right now, unless you're going. I want to show you guys the work that the guys have posted in the Discord. So this is Wax Kink. He's been working, hang on, what happened there? I didn't copy it properly. Copy link. On a spider, which looks very creepy. Ooh, you wouldn't want that to bite you. He's even got a video here which I won't show, but you guys can check that out on the stream, on the Discord server. This is another image from Wax Kink's spider. Whoa, look at the venom dripping from those fangs. And it's glowing venom. You know it's bad when it glows. It's a huntsman. He's doing an amazing job. Wax Kink has been making some really nice stuff and he's been doing a lot of work. You guys should check out the gallery on the Discord server because Wax Kink he's posted a lot of really nice stuff. This is a fish thing that he's worked on. This looks incredibly creepy. Super creepy. Look at those teeth. Oh my god. Stuff of nightmares. Nightmares, I tell you. I wouldn't want this thing chasing me in the ocean. But again, lovely model. And I like the texturing, and the thing is super creepy and freaky. Pardon me. Wax Kink also did one where he says it's the first time he's been sculpting hands. So he created the hands, I believe, first, and then he put the hands together into an image, which is this one here. And again, super creepy. Look at those eyes. Oh my god. But again, nice work. I really liked the job he did on the hands. I think he did a really good job. Again, I'm not a character artist, but I think he's done a good job on modelling up and texturing up the hands for the image, for the design and the style of the image. I think it looks great. I believe Wax Kink was a Grizzly Gear. I always get them confused. One of them is a streamer. It's either Grizzly Gear or it's Wax Kink. I hope I didn't get that wrong. But you should check them out when they're streaming. And also, there's one here from Selfless One. What did Selfless One post? It's an MP4, so I can't show it on the stream live, but it's real-time geometry in Houdini. So check that out. That's from Selfless One. Sorry, Selfless One, I can't. I'd have to download it to play an MP4, so if you linked me to a YouTube clip of it, then I could have played it. But check Wax Kink's real-time geometry done in Houdini. And now Android Lust has created a beautiful, beautiful image. Android Lust always makes amazing work, character work. And this is one that he's done for Halloween. I love the lighting. It looks really good. She's using a Ouija board. Ooh. But character looks great. Texturing looks great. Lighting looks great. Again, scene composition, I love it all. It looks wonderful. And those creepy floating candles. Again, beautiful work. And always Android Lust does beautiful work. What's your favourite character, Android Lust? Of all of the work you've made, which character do you like the most of everything you've done so far? Grizzly Streams, Android Lust says, yeah, it's beautiful work. Good question. Yeah, I'm interested to know, but if you don't know, if you can't pick right now, that's cool. Tell me next week. But I'm curious to see what you think is which of your work. What do you like the most that you've made? Smurf says, I bet it's the mermaid. Yeah, the mermaid was good. I really liked, and I still really like. Is it Thelma? The Thelma character that you did from Scooby-Doo? Or is it Marianne? I always get the two confused. I think it's Thelma, isn't it? The Thelma character, because that was a really interesting model. But you've done so much beautiful stuff. You really have. That's why I'm curious to see what you think is your best work, or the one that you like the most. Okay, Andrew Lust says the Western Cowgirl one is probably my favourite. Probably. You've done so much lovely work, and again, look on the in the gallery. Pardon me. To see so just some of the beautiful work that Android Lust has created over the years, and posted in the Phil Does 3D Discord. He's done some beautiful work. All of you guys have done great work. You all do amazing work. Yeah, beautiful, lovely work though, Android Lust. I love it. Just like everything you make, it's always beautiful and always really well done. And thank you guys very much for letting me show it on the stream. I'm losing my voice. The cat girl is Sniper Girl's favourite. Yeah, the cat girl was really nice too. I'm losing my voice. Yeah, thank you guys for letting me show it off on the stream. I will be back, of course, on Monday next week at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be a regular stream. We'll pick up where we left off and finish working on the gate. And then Tuesday next week will be a Just Chat stream. Thank you guys. You have a great weekend. Stay happy, healthy and safe. And I will see you all again on Monday next week. See you guys.